Well, it seems another province is struggling to feed its pupils. The Eastern Cape Education Department has been unable to pay for its school nutrition program. It says that's due to schools not verifying the number of children. Millions of pupils in KwaZulu-Natal went hungry after service provider Pasina Retail failed to deliver following the Easter break. Let's find out more now from our reporter on the ground in Qonce. That's Ronald Masinda. Good afternoon, Ronald. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. Yeah, this is embarrassing, I guess, to the officials in the education department in the Eastern Cape, but it's devastating for the kids who are without much-needed nutrition.
Yes, indeed, Bradan. Well, it is really devastating. And one of the sad stories that we followed today was that of Kanyiso Feki, a 16-year-old grade 8 pupil who attends school at Toyisi Senior Secondary in Qonce. Now, this 16-year-old lives with 14 other family members in an informal settlement. The sole breadwinner is the grandfather, who earns around 2,000 rand in grants. And this 2,000 rand, he was giving us just a brief breakdown as how he manages some of the expenses in the family. He says that 800 rand has to go to scholar transport, with 1,000 rand set aside for food. Now, if Kanyiso Mfeki doesn't get provided food at school, he eats once a day. So that's a sad state of affairs. And for the past 2 weeks, the school that he attends was without funding, and this resulted in a lot of families, also parents of pupils who cannot afford to try and help out, chip in as they wish in terms of providing children who are used to receiving at least 2 meals a day at school. But what we also understand is that the school that we visited, some of the concerns were on absenteeism, as many learners who go to these schools are also going there to get their meals. But now it seems like they have received good news at that particular school, with the department making a substantial amount in terms of the payment in order for the over 1,000 pupils at the school to get their meals. We also heard from the head boy of that school.
It's so hard sleeping with empty stomach whilst you depend on the food scheme and not even eating at school. From my knowledge, what I know is that you won't be able to concentrate when you have not eaten in the class. What I fear is our pass rate. How will this affect our pass rate here in school? It's time for giving assignments now, and children are being absent. It's so hard for us and for the teachers.
Yeah, very sad to hear that from a matriculant in that particular school. Ronald, what are the authorities saying? I mean, how are they going to resolve this and to make sure it doesn't happen again in future?
Yeah, so the authorities are saying that they have to go back to the drawing board now, because clearly there were also issues not only with the system that is used, but also just in terms of the communication that took place, because they use this verification system to ensure that the correct numbers in terms of learners or pupils at schools receive food. Because in the past, they say that they've been providing ghost learners food. Some schools are not complying with some of the requirements because the department gets money from National Treasury, and the National Treasury, one of the requirements is this verification system where children's ID numbers, names, and other personal information needed to be provided for. So the department says that they now go back to the drawing board to try and find an effective system, because the monies that they usually allocate for schools, they usually make payments in December, and the amounts should be covering schools quarterly. But this is a massive province, Bradan, with over 5,000 schools, and many learners suffered during this time. In fact, the school that we went to is probably one of the least hardest hit, because we have also been learning that there are other schools who went for a month without food, and also disturbing stories of some of the pupils at these schools fainting because of hunger.
Thank you very much, Ronald Masinda, live to us there from Qonce in the Eastern Cape about that situation.